My name's Sinead, formerly known as I Am Coach SG, and I am based in London. I decided to take part in this project based on the fact that trauma is something frowned upon in a Black community. So I think it's important that people speak about it and we become comfortable and normalise it going forward. 13 years ago, my son at the age of 5 was removed from my care. Being a young mum, I had my son at 17. I decided, let's play Power Rangers. Never will I play Power Rangers again in any household, any party or anything. So he basically went to his grandmother's house and shared with her, oh, Grandma, my mum was punching and kicking me. But he was so happy about it, they couldn't understand. And basically they decided to twist his narrative. They decided to share it amongst themselves as a family. So when I returned back from my vacation, I was met with NSPCC and police knocking at my door at 2:30 in the morning. At the time, my son wasn't there. He was staying away at another family member's home. I also had another child who at the time was 2. They basically tried to tell me that I was neglecting that child as well because there was not baby food in my house. And I just thought to myself, oh, do you know what? I'm actually over dealing with systemic people, especially people in the systemic background and the government when it comes to dealing with Black families. There being 4 officers, being male, all white, and only 1 female officer, also white, I felt that there was nobody here that I could actually identify with other than a female. And luckily for me that day, she actually did come to my rescue and said, look, you cannot do this woman for neglecting her children based on the fact that she doesn't have baby food in her house as her child is 2 years old. That would be neglect. So with my son being at another family member's house, he was also visited by 5 officers and my rights was removed from being his mother. So he had to stay there until they found a suitable family member to take care of him. My voice was not heard in this case. My opinion was not heard in this case. However, my frustrations were always shown. Social services was involved. And what I noticed with social services was they kept on bringing me people that wasn't like me. So I decided I didn't want to talk with none of them because you've already removed my child without my opinion, without my say, without actually hearing the truth of the matter. And I decided that I only wanted to work with people who were from the same background as me and also the same culture as me. Therefore, they could understand some of the things that we go through being Black people. At first, they had opposed to this, and then eventually they had to give in and work with me on that because it wasn't that I wasn't willing to work with them. It was more of a fact of how am I supposed to tell you what support I need in this moment if you don't even understand where we come from. So they did that and they called a family therapist and an early intervention practitioner in. Early on in the conversation, she realised this isn't a Sinead problem, this is a Sinead's family problem. And yeah, within 6 weeks of my son being removed, he was returned back to me. However, in that time, it built hostility within the family. It was tough. It changes you as a parent. There was manipulation, there was lies. He picked up coins that didn't belong to him. He was manipulating my parenting, basically. He knew that I had a fear of how I wanted to raise him. And that's a problem when you have that in your household. You know, you get to a point of where you as a parent starts changing. There was a lot of anger, but you have to control it because at the end of the day, you have to remember you are dealing with a child. And I had to remember I was dealing with my son. It wasn't no random child that didn't have a relationship to me. It was someone I genuinely loved. It was someone I genuinely cared about. So I had to be very careful with how I applied myself, not only as a mother, but as a mentor to him as well, so that he could also get the best out of his life given the circumstances he had been placed in. He was actually unrecognizable. And it's actually been 12 years since I got my baby back. inadequate as a parent, inadequate as a mother. It made me feel angered. It made me feel frustrated. It made me feel like the black sheep within my home. Yes, it is disheartening to know that just by the color of my skin, I'm being stigmatized by a government. But then in the same breath, I say it made me feel fierce and it also made me feel proud. When these things happen to you in your life, sometimes you have to be taken to the lowest point to then step into your purpose. And this has definitely been one of them. I feel that telling the story is good, it's impactful. I'm seeing it across the globe, but what I'm not seeing is a lot of people talking about it. So I feel that it's an important thing for me to do, and I feel great to actually be able to experience it and say I can speak about it firsthand and also know how we go through and deal with handling situations like this in the best possible way. Be fearless with it. Don't let police shake you in yourself. Don't let social services shake you in yourself, for you know what you're capable of and you know your truth. Figure out how you're going to deliver your truth and figure out how you're going to heal from this. I think the healing part is the part we forget about in the long run, but actually that's one of the most important elements. How do you heal from having your child removed out of your care without your say-so? Black to me means be fearless. Black to me means we are wanted. Black to me means we are beautiful inside and out. Black to me means align your crown. Black to me means wholesome. Black to me also means rich. We are rich in everything that we have, everything we can bring to the table. People are interested in us, and black is just the highest being we can have. I love being black. Black is the best. I can't even imagine being any other complexion. Forget that. I think black is litty committee, okay? Black is lit. My experiences helped me become a life coach. I was willing to look at different aspects of my situation, not just from the standpoint of things that happened with me as being a young mum to my children, but also things from my childhood and also looking at the dynamics and the makeup of my family. And when you're willing to look at things like that, it opens doors for you to be able to find A, healing, B, comfort. And I needed comfort. I couldn't no longer sit in a place where I was sad or feeling lonely. I had to sit in a place where I felt I was doing the right thing for me and my children going forward. And that therefore meant I had to face my traumas. So I thought, let me invest in myself. And I did a nice few thousands, and I did what I said I needed to do, and that was I healed myself and learned the skills how to heal others. I think moving forwards and looking at the systemic values that are there, it's time to change the trajectory. Most definitely. I think it needs to be from the bottom up because the top down isn't working. My main thing would be equality and diversity. A lot of workplaces say that they have it, but when you really look deeply into them, there are still questionable areas, such as things like pay gap. I would definitely make sure that the pay gap is equal to our white counterparts. I would also like for there to be more roles and opportunities for our black workers to be able to also excel within those areas. I do think that in today's society, it is an amazing opportunity for all black people to step out and actually step into their purpose. My biggest thing is don't stand in your shadow.